Ladies and gentlemen, Davante Adams, the star wide receiver for the Raiders, spoke out today about the Josh Jacobs situation and also had some comments about his chemistry with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Plus, Marcus Peters and the Raiders, we have an update there. We'll break down the cornerback position. And we have a health update on Raiders' new star pass rusher, Tyree Wilson. This is WiFiWillie. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Raiders content from me. Now, the Raiders will be hosting Marcus Peters on a visit again. They already had this guy on a visit after the free agency and draft frenzy, and now they're going to have him come by the facility on Monday. This is right before training camp. The rookies have already reported. The veterans report the 25th. Perhaps the Raiders want to get a deal done with this guy before training camp starts so he can start mentoring the young guys and get familiar with this Patrick Graham system. And look, Marcus Peters is going to have to compete. He had some injury problems last year. He had one of his worst years with the Baltimore Ravens. He's up there in age, but we've seen this guy play at the highest level possible. But there's some other guys in the cornerback room who are not going to be slept on, and that is Duke Shelley, who had a great season last year with the Minnesota Vikings, along with Brandon Faison, who was with the Raiders before, but recently signed a 2-year contract with the Raiders after playing with the Colts for just 1 season. And I also think the rookie Jacorian Bennett is going to get a serious opportunity. The Raiders traded up to select this guy in the 3rd round. He has that blazing 4.3 speed. The Raiders likely want to see one of their draft picks pan out and become a starter, similar to tight end Michael Mayer. And then you still have Nate Hobbs in the mix for the Raiders. So Marcus Peters, if he does join this team on Monday, which looks like it's headed in that direction, he's not going to be able to just walk in here and win the starting job. There's going to be tons of competition at the cornerback room because it is wide open. Another man who we don't know if he's going to have the starting job right away this year, but definitely for the future. Tyree Wilson was selected in the 1st round, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. He was selected for one reason only, to be paired next to Max Crosby for several years to come. The only complication with that is he was injured towards the end of last season at Texas Tech, had that foot injury. He had to have surgery, and we don't know exactly when this guy is going to be back. Plus, the Raiders already have Chandler Jones as an edge rusher. It really seemed confusing and weird, the fact that they would select Tyree Wilson. To me, and I'm going to be completely honest here, the move made me think that you're looking towards the future rather than looking to this upcoming year in 2023, because now Tyree Wilson is placed on the non-football injury list. It is possible that he is activated during the summer. That is a possibility, but it looks like the Raiders are doing what a lot of people expect, which is just to ease Tyree Wilson into football. He was still a raw talent last year. He has that messed up foot. You don't want him to re-aggravate it, especially while you already have Chandler Jones there. So my prediction is he will come back. He will play during this season, but I do not think he is going to be used a lot. You hear rumors about Tyree Wilson playing inside, but at Texas Tech right here, barely played inside at all, especially last season. He's primarily over the tackle and outside the tackle in terms of snaps. So I think he will seriously rotate sparingly with Chandler Jones throughout the season until he's 100%, and perhaps we'll see him take over the reins more so towards the end of the season. And Davante Adams made a shocking appearance on multiple outlets talking about Josh Jacobs and Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll get into that. But he talked to Josh Jacobs 3 to 4 days ago about the contract situation, and it seems like he's trying to convince this guy to just rock with the Raiders this year and sort of try to talk him through this experience and relate with him, because Davante has experience being tagged as well.
Basically just told him I understand where he's coming from. You know, you gotta do what you have to do. You can't just do something that your heart's not in. So at the end of the day, if it doesn't make sense to you, you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, I try to present all the things to him that, you know, the positives of coming back.
So Davante is trying to respect Josh Jacobs' process. Obviously, he feels he's underpaid, but also try to convince him that, hey, we want to play with you this year. I want to play with you this year. And if you are on this team can be quite interesting. And he reiterated this fact on Jim Rome's show. So he's on Dan Patrick before and then on Jim Rome.
If we're trying to win the Super Bowl, we're going to need that guy. I'm trying to keep his mind and let him know I understand where he's coming from.
So if we're going to win a Super Bowl, we're going to need that guy. And that's the thing. If the Raiders don't ease this situation with Josh Jacobs, it's hard to act like they even have a chance at all in the AFC West. But if you keep Josh Jacobs on this team, a happy Josh Jacobs, then the picture looks a little different. That's what Davante Adams seems like he's trying to articulate to Josh Jacobs.
Kind of train his mind to be in a good place so that ultimately and hopefully we can find a way to have him back.
So hopefully we can could find a way to have him back. And that's the thing, man. I don't think players are going to run through a wall for Josh McDaniels, but can somebody like Davante Adams inspire players? Can players go out there and want to run through a wall for Davante Adams? And I think with him taking this leadership role, because he's paid to be pretty much the face of the Raiders organization right now, he's trying to still do what he can to maintain a competitive team, even if that means convincing Josh Jacobs to play on the franchise tag. And now the ball's in Josh Jacobs' court. He clearly does not seem happy, and maybe Davante Adams is bought in on Josh McDaniels' plan, and perhaps Josh Jacobs may think otherwise. And the reason why there is concern, and the reason why you may think otherwise about the Raiders' expectations this year, unlike Davante Adams, is because of the quarterback situation. And Davante Adams could not help himself here. Look, Jimmy Garoppolo has not passed a physical yet, and I'm gonna just go out here and say my opinion and what I think about this. You gotta separate what I want to happen and what I think is going to happen. What I want to happen is for the Raiders to be successful, Jimmy Garoppolo to be healthy and ball out. But what do I think is happening? What do I think is happening right now? I think the Raiders know that they signed an injured quarterback who's not going to be effective this year. They had that addendum in his contract allowing them to get out of it if he cannot pass a physical, if he re-injures his left foot. And to me, that spells tank. I'm sorry, that spells tank to me. I hope I'm proven wrong because I want to see the Raiders win a lot of football games, but I find this very sketchy. The fact that they don't have a real big backup plan outside of Jimmy Garoppolo besides a 4th round pick and Brian Hoyer. So Davante Adams was asked about how do we build chemistry with Jimmy Garoppolo? How do we get to the next level given the fact that Davante Adams has still not caught a single pass from Jimmy Garoppolo yet? And you got all these other teams around the NFL building chemistry, and Jimmy Garoppolo has still not thrown a pass to Davante Adams.
I mean, through practice, man. That's really what it is. That's how I developed. Aaron and I didn't start off.
So he's saying through practice, he's saying through reps, and that's the real thing that sounds the alarm right now, is the fact that Davante Adams and Jimmy Garoppolo, they are not getting reps right now. They are not getting reps. Davante is clearly articulating the fact that that's exactly what needs to happen for them to hit the ground running.
So it takes time, and it's definitely a process, but it's something that I bought into, and I'm determined to make sure that we go out there and do the best that we can.
So he's trying to be positive. He's trying to say that he's going to try to make sure they have chemistry, but they do need time, and what him and Rodgers did together took time, and it took tons of reps, and we're not getting reps right now. Training camp is happening. The veterans are reporting on the 25th. We need to start practicing now. The preseason game is the 13th of August. We have 3 weeks and 3 days until the next preseason game. I'm stoked that football is coming back, but it really does set the alarm for the Raiders with Jimmy Garoppolo. All eyes are going to be on the quarterback at training camp. Will he pass a physical? Will he participate? If not, who's going to step up to try to save this season? Or is this season geared in a way for the Raiders to find their next franchise quarterback at the top of the draft? Many people believe so, but we'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this team, the Raiders. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out. I hope you have a good one.